In 1936, archaeologists uncovered a strange artifact in Baghdad. It looked like a simple clay pot, but inside was something that shouldn't exist. A primitive battery, 2,000 years before Edison. But this was no accident. It was proof of a lost civilization that mastered electricity and was erased from history. The Baghdad Battery, as it came to be known, was capable of generating a small electric charge. Archaeologists tested it with lemon juice as an electrolyte, and it worked. But here's the mystery. Who built it, and why? The jar itself was found in the village of Kujut Rabu, just outside Baghdad. Inside, an iron rod surrounded by a copper cylinder, sealed at the top with asphalt. Perfectly engineered, suspiciously modern in design. German archaeologist Wilhelm Koenig was the first to recognize what he was looking at. He knew the official story of electricity couldn't survive this discovery. So the question wasn't what it was. The question was, what did they use it for? The answer lies in a civilization so advanced their knowledge was deemed too dangerous to survive. Long before Egypt or Mesopotamia, there was a civilization that harnessed the power of electricity. Ancient texts describe eternal lights in temples, torches that never needed to be refueled, flames that burned for centuries with no smoke, no ash. Roman historian Plutarch wrote of a lamp at the temple of Jupiter Ammon in Egypt that priests claimed had been burning for hundreds of years. No one could explain it. Ancient Indian texts, the Vedas, speak of vimanas, flying machines powered by a mysterious force described only as mercury vortex energy. In Mesopotamian tablets, there are references to devices that could send messages across the sky and heal the body with invisible light. These weren't metaphors. These were technical descriptions, written by people who had seen these things with their own eyes. But their greatest invention, a source of limitless energy, was so powerful it threatened the rulers of the ancient world. And so, they were wiped out, their cities destroyed, their knowledge buried beneath sand and silence. Why don't we know more about this civilization? Because history is written by the victors. Consider this. The Library of Alexandria, the greatest repository of ancient knowledge ever assembled, was burned. Not once, 3 times. Each fire carefully timed at a moment of political transition. Scholars estimate over 700,000 scrolls were lost. We will never know what was in them. Then there's the Antikythera mechanism, a 2,000-year-old Greek device so mechanically sophisticated, engineers spent decades reverse engineering it. It could calculate planetary movements, predict eclipses, track the Olympic calendar. A working computer from the ancient world. How did that knowledge disappear? The rulers of the ancient world feared what they could not control. Knowledge of energy, real energy, not fire, not wind, would have shattered every power structure on Earth. Priests would lose their gods. Kings would lose their armies. Empires would crumble. So they made sure those secrets were lost forever. But fragments remain, hidden in caves, buried in ruins, encoded in myths, waiting for someone to look closely enough. The question is, what else have they hidden from us? What if this lost civilization's knowledge could have changed the course of history? Think about what the Dark Ages cost humanity. 1,000 years of stagnation. Plagues wiped out half of Europe. Wars fought over resources that free energy would have made worthless. The suffering of billions for centuries that may have been entirely preventable. Could we have avoided all of it? Could we have had the Industrial Revolution in 500 BC? Electricity in ancient Rome? Medicine that actually healed instead of bled? The truth is, their secrets are still out there, waiting to be uncovered. And every discovery brings us closer to rewriting everything we thought we knew. The Baghdad Battery wasn't an anomaly. It was a warning. A message left behind by people who knew their world was ending and wanted us to know what was possible. A clay pot, found in the dirt, dismissed for decades as a curious relic with no real purpose. But that clay pot held a charge. And so do you. Because here's what history teaches us, if we're willing to look past the version we were handed. The most dangerous thing in any era is not a weapon. It's a person who asks the right question at the right time. The civilization behind the Baghdad Battery didn't fall because they were weak. They fell because someone more powerful decided their knowledge was too threatening to exist. Their libraries were burned. Their names were erased. Their technology was buried under thousands of years of carefully constructed silence. But they left something behind. Not in museums, not in textbooks, in the dirt, in the ruins, in myths that don't quite add up, in artifacts that science still can't fully explain. Every discovery is a crack in the story we've been told. And once you start seeing the cracks, you can't unsee them. The Baghdad Battery is just the beginning. History has more secrets, and we're going to find them, one buried truth at a time. If this story made you question what else history has hidden, you're not alone. Subscribe to LightWill Global, because the past isn't over, it's just been buried. Encourage us by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. See you next week Friday for another secret. Next episode, the Pyramids of Antarctica. What's really buried under the ice?